Hello, my name is Bobby Benton, aka Serendipitously Bobby, and welcome to Life Essentials, the Self-Healer's Journey podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Life Essentials, the Self-Healer's Journey podcast. I am Bobby Benton, aka Serendipitously Bobby. Y'all forgive me. These braces. Serendipitously Bobby, and I am your host. So tonight, guys, you are in for a treat. We have the beautiful, the wonderful, awesome, my favorite cousin, Miss Tracy Raspberry. And tonight we are going to be talking about peace and her journey of healing and working through codependency and breaking the cycle for herself and for her, her generation, her lineage. So let me jump right into this. So Miss Tracy is a loving mother, grandmother, daughter, Marine veteran, and owner of award-winning Tracy's Loving Touch Senior Services. And she is here today just to share her story of finding peace after codependency. So welcome.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, you know you got me.
Y'all, it took a lot. She got here.
I got here.
She got here.
Let's do this.
Let's do this. So Tracy, you are the oldest of all of the cousins, and to me, I feel like you have a phenomenal story to tell, and you've been on quite a journey for your life. You are very, I told you earlier, tenacious, resilient. Like, you have such a big, loving heart.
Thank you.
And I just want you to share. Take us on the journey of where your journey of finding peace started for you.
I really didn't know that I didn't have peace until, so I'm sharing stuff here that I've never shared probably, but I had a nervous breakdown in 2011, and I realized that I was carrying the weight of the world on my shoulders, and it wasn't mine to carry. And at that point, I started to back away, but it took me years to get where I am now. I just started relinquishing some of the responsibilities that I gave myself.
Okay.
I was always
gave yourself?
You know, when you're that person that sees something and you kind of feel guilted into doing stuff, you just take it on. And that was me. I always felt like I had to have everything right for everybody. But that's not who God called me to be. I wasn't supposed to be a doormat for everybody. But that's life, and it happened. But I've learned through therapy and yoga and meditation and God that peace is where you should be. I should be happy, and that's where I am right now.
And I'm happy that you are happy, and it has been, I'm going to say, a joy and honor just to watch your journey, to see how far you have come, because I've always looked up to you. So whereas you may be like, oh, I have my doormat, I never looked at you like that. I always saw you as just so strong. But in that, like, as I got to know deeper, like build a deeper relationship with you, I got to see that you weren't carrying the weight for everybody. You carried the weight for friends, families, extended families for years. And would you say that, like, you were kind of groomed into being the way you are, like, from childhood? Or, like, how do you think your childhood helped you make some of the choices you made?
Being the oldest, I felt a sense of responsibility for you guys. So yes, I won't say groomed, but you know how in black families, you're the oldest grandkid, you get your cousins and make sure they eat. And I'm an only child, my mother's only child, but with you guys, it was like, make sure they eat, make sure they get their baths, make sure they get to bed. And so I just fell into this caregiving role that I didn't know how to get out of. So I became a caregiver for, cousins. And then when grandma got sick, I became her caregiver. And when grandma died, I became Uncle Dunny's caregiver. It was like I never got a chance to just enjoy who Tracy. I didn't really know who I was, so I can't say I didn't get a chance to enjoy her because I didn't really know who I was. I think now I'm discovering me, and that's only because I've put down some of the burdens.
And it's like, because I always wonder, like, how that even, like you're saying you're the oldest, but it's like, how did you even end up caring for our grandmother and then caring for our uncle? And we have so many other family members. I always wondered. That just was a question that always stuck out. So y'all don't know this. So I was not raised with my paternal side for a long time. We were in and out. But Tracy was the cousin that I'm gonna say always just loved, no matter what the time span was of reconnection. You always just loved, and I just appreciate that about you.
Thank you.
Gives the wisdom. Like the big cousin that I wanted, I got it. But that always had that question, like, how did that even come to be? Because you and I both are a lot alike with the caretaker role in our families. Like on maternal side, I'm the caretaker. Maternal side, you the caretaker. And it's like, I know how I got to my stuff, but it's like, how did it even get to be to the point where you ended up having to caretake for our grandmother and then our uncle?
There was nobody else to do it. I mean, that's just the bottom line. As many cousins as I have, they just didn't show up. And so I did. And by doing so, I felt obligation that if something were to happen to grandma, that Uncle Dunny would never be left alone. So I fell into it.
I would say this, you gave Donnie a quality of life, like he was like a new person.
He got to live, because you have to think about Uncle Donnie he would have been 70 had he lived to his birthday. And when he was born, it was a different America. So grandma was this protective from the South Black woman that did the best she knew how to do at caring for a mentally challenged child. So he didn't have schools that he could go to. She didn't know how to teach him what he needed to know. But for me, it's like I saw past his disabilities and knew that he could be more. And so I pushed him to do more. I wanted him to be more. So, yeah.
And he sure did. His quality of life was just watching, because you posted a lot on Facebook and stuff. And I was like, oh, look at that. It brought joy, But so, not even just like with family, it's per se like just the caregiver in you. It's just there.
And it happened with friends, I've had to back away from friends because I felt like I was being used more than appreciated. At some point you have to let people know that I can love you, but I can't love you and want more for you than you want for yourself.
Amen.
And I find myself now, I don't want to be the person that just don't care, but it's harder for me to fall back into that, oh, I'm so sorry. What can I do? I'm still empathetic. I still care. I still love you. It's just that I love you differently now.
Yes.
So
now you have strong boundaries.
Very strong.
Yeah.
Very strong. And when I tell you it was hard to get those boundaries set, I would set boundaries and I'm like, oh, I'm not doing that no more. I don't care what nobody say. Phone would ring and I'd be like, okay, I'm on my way. okay, yes, I can do this.
Yep.
Okay, yes, I can do that. But it only hurt me and it made me angry. So I had to put a stop to it.
So, like, how long did it, from the point of you deciding I'm going to make these changes, like, how long did the time span did it take you to stick to it?
Well, 2011, when I had the breakdown, for me, it was a wake-up call. I'm like, I don't want to be this sad, unhappy person. I don't want to have to be everything to everybody.
Yes.
So I started the process, but of course I kept slipping and slipping and slipping. And I don't think that I actually got it until 2019 when I ended a relationship. And I'm like, you know what? The treatment that I got with you, I will never let anybody else do. So in 2019, I was what, 50 at the time? So it took a really, really long time for me to, no, I was 55. Oh, Lord. It took a really long time for me to get there. 15 years almost.
But you got there.
I got there. And I'm not going to say that I'm completely there. I still have moments where I feel guilt about not being everything to everybody. But on the flip side of that, I know that if I go back into that, I'll be miserable.
Yeah.
And I don't want that.
Yeah.
I'm actually in a space where I feel peace. You know, I sleep at night. I don't have the worries that I had. I was so stressed out all the time. And there's no need to live life like that. So, yeah.
So now that you have, like, in your new life, like, what does that look like for you on a daily basis? Like, just doing Tracy, what does that look like?
Well, it depends on the day.
Okay.
It could be yoga. It could be meditation. It could be me getting up in the morning, listening to gospel or watching a sermon. It could be me spending the day on the boat or a weekend camping. It just spending the day with my girls, or like today, my mom and I and a couple of my girlfriends went to the movies. It just depends on the day, you know, and I'm not going to say that every day is a good day. You know, some of those days could be just me laying in bed, just thinking about my life. So it just really depends on the day. I had mentioned that peace is seasonal, and I'm just in a season of peace right now. I can't say that it'll be here in my next season, but right now in this season, I'm in peace.
And I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. You always traveling and camping. Y'all, she loves to camp and travel, and she's out there in them streets and just enjoying her life. So, for you also on your journey, so do you think that your journey through codependency, do you think that your girls picked up any of that?
You know who I think picked it up is my oldest. The other two, especially the baby, she is not having it. She has boundaries.
Yes.
And I respect her so much for that. And I tell all of the girls, I tell them all the time that they're so much smarter at the ages that they are right now than I ever was at their age. Because to be able to be 24 and say, no, I'm not doing that, and no, I don't want to do that, and no, I'm not comfortable with that. Man, if I had those balls at that age, I just didn't have it. It was a different time, too.
Yeah, I was about to say,
You know, I raised my kids where we could communicate. My kids can talk to me about anything. Now, you're going to talk to me with respect, but we can talk about whatever you want to talk about at any given time. And my mom was like that, but my grandmother wasn't. Everything was secret, you know, so secretive. And, you know, you got to honor your mother and father, and you're going to go this, and this. So we were raised with fear.
Yeah.
And so I tried not to do that.
No, just watching you, and I love your relationship with the girls. Like, even with, you know, the baby, you know, peanut butter.
Peanut butter.
So it's just like watching, to me, my cousins are very strong women. And even though you know, you had your, you know, your struggles with codependency, you poured so much love into them to make them the strong women that they are. And it's like to me, from the outside looking in, they saw your resiliency and your tenacity. And when I say those three girls are a force to be reckoned with.
Thank you.
They are all just like good. They're good women, good people.
I never tried to hide any of the good, bad, or the ugly, because the secrets are what keep us held down.
Yes.
So if I'm telling you, hey, I'm not trying to run your life, I just need you to know that this is bad.
Yep.
If I'm telling you this and you still choose to go that way, I've told you. I'm gonna let you bump your head. So
I'm gonna be here to rub it for you, baby, but go ahead.
Right.
Yes. No, but that right there, because a lot of times we pass those things on to our kids, and to see your girls be as tenacious as they are, no one would ever think that you had a you had a issue in the world, or you was dealing with anything, because your girls are so like very strong, confident women.
Yeah, for me, what's that saying that you raise? How does it go about raising your kids in? What is the word? Like not struggle. That is not the word. I'm gonna have to come back with it because I'm having a 60-year-old moment right now. So you ask me another question because I'm gonna come back to that. I am having a moment.
No, it's okay. So I do want to, if you don't mind, backtrack to your relationship. You were in a relationship for a very long time. How, like, ending that, like, how hard was it to break that tie?
Oh my God.
And move forward? Like, what was that like for you?
Hell.
Okay.
So I knew 4 years into the relationship that I was never going to marry him and that it was not good for me. But it took me another 5 years to get out of it. And because I kept getting sucked back in, because he had a form of autism that super smart man, but he could become mean. And I would just keep getting sucked back into it because I knew that he was sick. And I knew that I could help him, or at least that's what my mind kept saying. You can help him. You can make him better. But I couldn't. You have to want it for yourself.
Yep.
And he just didn't want it bad enough.
So, like, for you, to me, like, you getting out of it, that's, like, very powerful, because it was that codependency that kept drawing you back, well, on top of the trauma bonding that y'all had. But that right there is like, he honestly, helped trigger your change.
He did.
Yeah.
Because I knew that once I got out of this, I was never going to be that Tracy again for anybody. So I thank him for that. If I could speak to you, where's my camera?
Right there.
Thank you. But yeah, I knew that I didn't want to be that Tracy any longer, because I was miserable. I wasn't happy. He was happy. He got the things that he needed, but I was not getting what I needed. I just felt underwhelmed all the time.
Yeah.
So
from the outside looking in, you're a natural, you're a light. So
okay.
Well, you are. You're not one of those people who they were like, oh, they can't see you carry your trauma well.
Okay.
Some people look like what they've been through. You don't, because as you sit here at 60 years old, you don't look.
Well, I'm 58. I'll be 59.
58. Well, you the one who said 60, you know.
Look, I was having a moment.
But even you don't look it one bit.
Thank you.
Like, you don't carry your trauma
You know why? Because that's back there. If I keep it right here, it's going to stay here and it's going to continue to weigh me down. I have to let it go. I have to forgive.
Yes.
I have to continue to love. I have to continue to be authentically who I am.
Yes.
I am a giver. I am a person who loves people. I am outgoing. I have to continue to be that me in order for me to stay happy.
Yeah.
I can't just keep saying, oh, well, oh, this happened in my life and this happened in my life. You know, oh, woe is me. No, I
You
can't
don't want to
do
be
that.
a victim.
No, I do not.
Yeah.
I don't
There is no strength in being a victim.
at all.
Yeah.
At all. So.
And some people stay in victim mode because they getting something from it.
Mm-hmm.
If they wasn't getting nothing from it, they wouldn't stay in
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
it. So 'cause
Yeah.
you carry very well.
Thank you.
You do. So as you are at this phase in your peace journey, what does it look like for, like, what do you want your future to be like? Have you thought that far about what's next?
Actually take life day by day. And so I have not thought years down the line. No, I have not. I do know that I would like to be in a relationship again. I would like to continue to travel. I'm tweaking my business and doing some other things with that. So, but anything specific? No, I don't have anything specific that I want.
Well, that's good.
Because, like I said, I'm in the season of peace right now.
Yeah.
So when something comes about and I'm not there anymore, then I'll work on that. But I don't want to go way down the line thinking, well, what ifs, or what if I do this, or what can I do this? No, and maybe that comes with age. You know, I'm happy where I am right now.
You have no expectations of nothing.
Not at all.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. And I've kind of been like that a while now, and I'm happy with it.
I aspire.
Let some of that stuff go.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it. So, when I want to go to touch on this. So, when healing through codependency, most codependent people are highly empathetic people, and a certain type of energy is normally attracted to them. So while you're out here in these dating streets, or you were, did you get frustrated when certain energies kept coming towards you?
Very much so. So much so that I'm not even trying to date anymore. Even though I say I want a relationship, unless he comes and knocks on my door, I probably won't get one. So I just, yeah, I seem to attract narcissists.
I was trying not to say, y'all was trying not to say the word. That's like my favorite word. So I was trying not to say it, but you said it.
I seem to, yeah, I do.
Yeah. It's like the broken always want to come and have you heal them. My sister was like, you always get the little birds, the broken wings. And I don't ask for it.
You know. And I think it's because of the honesty that we project. We give too much information without even knowing that we're giving information.
Because we're just being genuine.
Right.
And just,
Right.
we're being ourselves, and then people prey
Right.
on that.
Exactly.
Unhealed people. Yeah. I'm with you, because I keep saying I want to be in a relationship and all that stuff again, but they're going to have to fall in my lap. That's how I'm going to know. Yours going to have to knock on the door.
You have to knock on the door, meet me at the campground, something. You'll be sitting at the fire or something.
Yeah, it's just a glimmer.
Right.
I'll be like, that's him.
Right.
Yeah, because that is scary when it's I'm gonna call it the spirit of codependency. When it has hit you and it's been there for so long, coming up out of it, it does bring a little fear. Like, am I truly like? Because we're always gonna be healing.
Absolutely.
We're never gonna just be healed.
Absolutely.
And it's like that small little spot is there. Like, ooh, I'm scared because I just don't want to repeat that cycle. Well, I know that's for me.
I'm not scared at all. I'm just not for any bull. So, yeah, my tolerance is at a 0. So, I'm not afraid. My tolerance is just really low. And
I'm
because
scared.
I've been single for a long time, so I know the games. I've seen everything. So the red flags just hit me all in the face. I'm like, oh, yep.
After one conversation,
One
like, here we go.
So I've limited the conversations. So yeah.
Yeah, and you know, it takes maturity, like out here getting to know people, it takes maturity to end it. As soon as you hear it, call it, end it immediately, because a lot of times people have that scarcity mindset with relationship, like, I have to not have my standards so high, or my expectations, whatever, because they're like, I may not find nobody, but that's a scarcity mindset. Instead of just being you, calling people on their stuff, you're just not the one for me. But a lot of people are scared they're gonna be alone, but when you find peace,
then you don't mind being alone.
you don't mind being, you like being ugly at home alone.
I love it. Like, I had stopped cooking for years because all the girls are gone. They're grown, you know. So I ate out a lot. But spending the winter in my camper kind of forced me to cook. So I'm like, oh, I'm spending too much money going out every day. So I've started cooking again, and I like cooking my little 2 lamb chops. Instead of having to cook a whole meal for anybody else, you know, you get comfortable with you. And that may not be a good place to be either, but that's where I am right now because I'm at peace.
Yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with being girl.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. So you know that you are on the right path with healing is when, like you said, you're comfortable with you and your 2 lamb chops, but if you still have that space for somebody want to come and throw their 2 lamb chops in there, you okay with that as long as they healthy. Nah, I'm not there yet.
Okay.
Like I said, I still operate in fear of attracting the wrong, you know, but you further along than I am.
Yeah.
But I'm still that fear of attracting the wrong person. So tell me about, like, in business with this. How is that? Because even in business, codependency can peek its little head. So share, like, how you make sure you don't let that interfere with.
Well, I tell my employees, the more you give, the more they'll expect of you. If you go in and do your job, then you've done what you're supposed to do. With the job that I do, it's easy to get sucked into codependency because you're working with seniors and they are great manipulators. So I always say, do your job. As long as you're doing your job, I'm happy. Because when you start doing that little extra, then they're going to take it and run. So.
Like, pull it on the heartstrings. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a good. I'm gonna take that into my organization. Just do the job. That's it.
Do your job.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, the more you give, and that's with anything, the more you give a person, the more they expect from you. So.
Yeah, and when you're giving to the wrong people, you know, it can bleed you dry.
Yes.
So, you know, not to say not to be empathetic, but you gotta set boundaries in the workplace, home, relationship, everywhere.
Absolutely.
So you don't be taken advantage of.
Absolutely.
And the bigger your heart, the easier, you know. And yeah, when you have that rescuer spirit, is like, it's hard and people pull on your heartstrings and stuff. And yeah, that's something I'm really making sure. But I'm still at that. Thank you very much. Well,
You're
no,
welcome.
you just gave it. So
I gave it to you.
I'm just gonna use that, cause man, what time is it? 7:30? Dang, time flew by already. Dang, it's already 7:30.
Okay.
So, and I do want to touch also on, so you realized in 2011, I wanna, you know, I gotta get myself together. So let's go back to childhood real quick. growing up, did you even fathom, like, this isn't normal for me to be doing all these tasks as a child, or was it?
Absolutely not. I grew up in a black community, a black household. So it is normal in our community for little kids to take care of other kids. That is normal.
Yeah.
You know, I apologize to my daughter, the oldest, all the time and tell her, you know, I thank you because you helped me raise your sisters. And she shouldn't have had to. But when you're raising kids, you're in survival mode. I don't care how good the household is, you're still in survival mode because you got little lives in your hand that you're trying to maneuver. And she was my right hand. So I apologize on one hand and then thank her on the other.
Yeah.
You know, so no, as a child, I didn't see it as how did I get into this? I just saw it as something I needed to do.
And I am glad that you said that because, like you said, in the black community, it is you take care of everybody. Same with me. I'm trying to stop now taking care of people, but it's like to apologize to your daughter is a big deal.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah.
I could not have done it without her. And you know, and it's just, I'm so thankful that I was strong enough in survival mode to say to the younger two that she is, when I'm not here, she is it. We will discuss whatever needs to be discussed when I get home. But when what she tells you to do, you do it. And they respected her enough to follow her lead. And they, like Mother's Day, we had a Mother's Day brunch, and the middle daughter hosted it. And man, there were tears everywhere because they paid homage to Ashley.
You about to make me cry.
I promise you, we were crying all over the place because the younger two acknowledged that how thankful they were for her, you know, like being their second mom. And so you have to thank your kids when they've done the necessary work, and she did it.
Yeah. I'm saying I don't hardly ever hear of parents, for one, apologizing, let alone acknowledge that they should not have put that weight on their children. You know, that's big. My kids, I made sure I didn't have them. I always had everybody else and their mama kids, but I didn't make my kids do that because it was done to me, and I just didn't have no little kids. I was like 2 enough, and then you know. But I realized early on that I was like, I don't want to be a mama. I didn't even want kids because of that.
Okay.
And I love my children. I wouldn't trade them for the world. I love my babies, but because I had to help carry the weight for my sisters, because we did grow up in survival mode, you know, and so because I had to carry the weight for my sisters, even my older sister, who was more like my younger sister, I didn't want no kids, and they helping her with her kids, and not helping somebody. I was like, oh my God. And I'm to the point now where I don't want to take care of nobody else.
And that's where I am.
I don't.
That is the only persons that I will be responsible for are my mom and my kids.
And your peanut butter.
And my peanut butter.
Yes.
You know, it's I'm tired. And I feel like I deserve to be where I am right now.
And you do.
So I'm going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that, you know, with having boundaries, I make some people uncomfortable. But they didn't think about the discomfort that I had when I was doing everything.
That part.
So.
Yeah. It was a sense of entitlement, like that was your job, you supposed to be doing this. But it wasn't. It never was. You were a child forced into an adult role. So it's even like you were in survival mode as a child, because it's like, dang, I don't want to get cussed out, whooped, whatever punishment, because you're not doing this role that you ain't even supposed to be doing, you know? So it's like it's reinforced.
Right.
It was forced on you. And a lot of times parents don't realize that They are, I say use the word grooming. They don't even understand that that's what they're doing when they do that. And then I hear a lot of parents yelling or dogging their kids because they doing this, that, and the other in relationships. But it's like you already prepped it when they were a kid, and now they got to be out here saving the world because they was saved. They was put in roles, being the parent's best friend, daddy's best friend, and they're taking care of everybody. But then you wonder why they with a man or a woman who takes advantage of them. So because they didn't ask for that.
Right.
They didn't get a chance to be a kid.
Right.
And I'm just happy that you had that relationship with your girls and you broke that cycle. And just to apologize and even acknowledge is so huge. 'Cause
you have to. I mean, in life, I feel that if I have wronged you, let me apologize. If I don't know that I've wronged you, I can apologize.
Yeah.
If you choose to stop speaking to me, that's fine too. Just know that if I did anything, I'm sorry, but you would get a personal one if you told me what I did.
Yeah. But that's childish when people just quit talking. Why are you sitting up here running around holding on to anger and mad? I have no clue that I have offended you. Say something instead of being passive aggressive. That right there is so childish to me. And then you sitting there huffing and puffing, talking shit about somebody. They don't have a clue that you have offended them.
Right.
And they're like, well, why do you quit talking to them?
Right.
They'll tell everybody else except for you.
Except for you.
And I hate when people come talk to me. Like when people drop hints or whatever, I don't do that. So until you man or woman enough to come say it to me, and it better come respectfully because I don't go disrespectful to nobody.
Exactly.
I just flying over my head because you're not mature enough to come talk to me, you know?
Right.
But that's growth too. And that, being codependent, sometimes we do what's called fawn. We're fawning. We're people pleasing, just agreeing, being agreeable, just to not even have to really deal with it. We got fight, flight, fawn, or freeze. And a lot of times people who are codependent are fawners.
Right.
And that's where the people pleasing comes in. So that was my thing. I'm either a flight person or a fawner. Sometimes I'll be a fight person. It depends on the situation. But for the most part, I spend my life being a fawner and a flight person.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
So I just really would, you shared your bio that was written up. And I was sitting at my area at lunch just like misty.
And I didn't know that you didn't know all of that. So, and
I
would
did
have been like, okay, disclosure. Don't read it at work.
But I'm glad that I did get to see that part. You should write a book.
No.
Come on, a journal, something.
No.
It was and when I read it, I was like, I have even more like admiration for you after reading that, because you have been there, done that, and you said you're not gonna write a book about it. It's okay.
No, I'm not.
But
I mean, I don't mind sharing, but that's that reliving. And it happened. I've healed, so I've left it there.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing it with me.
You're welcome.
You was like, you can put whatever you want. I was like, I am not. I am not.
Because at this point in my life, I don't care what people think anymore. So my life is an open book. If you want to know something, just ask and I'll tell you.
And I like that about you. You've always been like honest and upfront. You forewarn me about things, you educate me about things, and half the time I don't listen. But
I had to let you bump your head.
You let me bump my head. But then you do it with love. When I come back with my tail between my legs, you like, okay, got the lesson.
Right.
So I appreciate that about you. But Tracy, just you being vulnerable enough to, or brave enough to come on the show and share.
Yeah, you got me.
Yes. You do so well. You do so well. Okay, it's 7:41. Let me see. Guys, for our viewers, if anybody wants to We're gonna do the chat 'cause I'm having some phone difficulties. So if anybody want to ask any questions in the chat, go ahead. I'll give you a moment to do so. So Tracy, for your business, are you accepting new clients and such? Or
I am accepting new clients. You can reach me at Tracy Raspberry at AOL. No P in my name, as on the site. But
that wasn't my fault.
Tracy Raspberry at AOL, or you can go to Tracy's Loving Touch Senior Services LLC on Facebook.com.
Okay. So guys, if you want quality, loving care for your family members, Tracy will pour it all in there on them. Okay. And then what time is it? 7:41. So real quick, I want to ask you guys to tune in next Thursday, June 20th at 7 p.m. live on YouTube and Facebook with along with me and my special guest, Sierra Young. We will be talking about, excuse me, My Demon Wears a Crown, as she shares her healing journey. So Sierra will be joining me here next Thursday at 7 p.m. live on YouTube and Facebook. I'm sorry, guys. I got it on the throat. So join me next Thursday for Sierra. And there real quick. Tracy, you done looked up. We don't have anything in the chat, so you done looked up.
Good.
All right. So, in ways you guys can help the podcast, if you would be so kind as to like and love the social media pages, the YouTube pages, you can subscribe and like those. So it's Life Essentials, the Self-Healer's Journey podcast on YouTube and Facebook, and also on Instagram and TikTok. So it's the title of the podcast. You can share the page with others. You can comment in the chats if you have things you want to share with people. Even just give words of wisdom. It's okay. That's what the chat is for. We're helping each other along this journey of life. And if you want to financially support the channel, you can send any Cash App donations to Life, LIFEESS podcast through Cash App. And all proceeds from the channel go towards funding the Winning Touch Advocacy Agency's resources to help victims of domestic violence and intimate partner violence safely start their healing journeys, and also fund the weekly podcast. And then, Mr. Producer Man, can you put up the anniversary flyer for me, please? There we go. So this Saturday from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m., I will be at Star JC Park celebrating the 1-year anniversary of the podcast. So I'm excited about this journey, guys. It's been a long year and I made it. So I will be at Star JC Park in Royal Oak from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. We will have yoga. We will have a award ceremony, just recognizing people who have been with me, supporting me along this podcasting journey. We will be having painting in the park too. So, and then I'll share a nice little story with you guys while we're there. So come on out this Saturday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Star JC Park in Royal Oak for the podcast 1-year anniversary. And then the flyer about there we go, Let's Talk Tuesdays. So Winning Touch Advocacy Agency has started, has started a support group online every Tuesday at 7 p.m. from 7 to 8 p.m. where we just I share domestic violence resources, educate about domestic violence, and give people a safe space to share their stories and just help with encouragement and healing. So every Tuesday from 7 to 8 p.m., Let's Talk Tuesdays. And if you want to join in on the group, is the email? No, the email is not right there. So the email to get the link is info at winningtouchadvocacyagency.org, or you can give me a call at 248-251-2848, and I will text you the link. I think, was that all the flyers? That's it? Okay. So guys, we don't have anyone in the chat. So Tracy, I just want to tell you, thank you.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. It was not as bad as I thought.
Told you. No, you did really well, and just thank you for sharing and being vulnerable. And your story to me is very powerful. Just overcoming codependency is not easy. I'm still on that journey. You are like to the moon with it, and I am so happy for you. And I'm going to keep enjoying watching you do your thing.
Keep watching and you'll get there soon.
Yes, thank you. So guys, we are going to sign out just a bit early today. So Tracy, tell them bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone, and I will see you next Thursday, June 20th at 7 p.m. live on YouTube and Facebook with my special guest, Sierra Young. Good night.
Good night.